I mean, I did The Amazing Spider-Man, and that was one of the
Yeah.
first time they used those 4K cameras. Our cinematographer, oh my God, he's fantastic. He did such an incredible job because there was a lot of prosthetic makeup on that film. And I was looking at it thinking, oh my God, this looks amazing. It doesn't, you don't see all that stuff because he knew what filters to use on
Mhm.
it to make it look realistic. And it was, he had done such an amazing job, and all the other people were looking at it. They had DPs coming through that were going to go shoot Marvel films.
Hmm.
They had them coming through the set and talking to John on the set to make sure that they were going to be doing the same techniques he did so that their films could look as good. So he
Yeah.
did an amazing job. But
Yeah.
it's not everybody takes the time. Not everybody is as
Mm.
good as your technicians aren't as good as the next technicians, or it's just, I think somebody has to really be into their craft and really want to take the time to um, delve into it and see what works, what do tests with it. Don't just, try to make, you're not doing a wildlife movie. You're doing a movie with people in it that are wearing makeup. You can't just expect everybody to be perfect all the time. And
Mm.
especially if you're doing films with prosthetics, you really have to know how to light them. You have to know what kind of filters to use. And there's so many beautiful makeups being done now with silicone prosthetics. It's just phenomenal. So
Mm.
it's like I did a film called LBJ, and
Wow.
Arian Titan did the makeup. This was on Woody Harrelson. This was the second LBJ film. And we went to go see a screening of it before they, finalized everything. And they had gone in and done digital touch-ups on all kinds of stuff that weren't supposed to be touched up.
Mhm.
So Arian went to them and just said, oh, you guys, no, you took out, that's not right. You took out stuff that wasn't supposed to be taken out. I mean, and there was very little to be taken out.
Mhm.
We really did an amazing job on this makeup. We were we were being such perfectionists about it. We didn't want them to have to do that.
Yeah.
So he went back in with the director or the digital, whoever the digital artist was, and he said, no, remove that, remove that, remove that, and put it back to the way it should have been. I mean, there was like maybe 2 or 3 touch-ups they had to do. It was like the end
Yeah.
of the day, maybe something was cracking down here. It was like nothing,
Yeah.
And so I think this is another thing, like a lot of makeup artists now are putting it in their deals that they want to do the beauty pass with the director
Mm.
at the end of the film. So if they're going to be doing any digital touch-ups, they want to have to say about it, which makes sense because you're going to know if something's wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
what I do is I always go to the script supervisor and say, hey, today this is a problem here. Make a note here. So if they need to do digital touch-ups, this is what they should touch up, blah, blah, blah. So
Mm.
those are things that you have to, you have to have a really good rapport with your director and your DP and your script supervisor so that everybody can stay connected and know what has to be dealt with and talked about and maybe retouched at the end of the film.
Yeah, it's amazing how much this mirrors the conversation I've had with some VFX artists, where it comes down to the tool itself is a tool. At the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
the same as what camera you're going to use. There's different techniques you can use to accomplish the same effect, but it's what you said. People don't take the time to make sure that everything else is working in tandem with it. So
Right.
you have an incredible effect, but it's not shot the right way, and it looks cheap, or you have
Yeah.
something that's not an incredible effect, but it's shot really well and it looks great,
Yeah.
and as far as your experience, I mean, you've had some people like Tim Burton you've worked with for many, many movies. You've worked with different collaborators over and over again. Who are some people you've worked with that you think really understand how to work with these effects and put your work in the best light in the different films and projects you're working on?
Like I said, I really loved working with John Knoll
Mm.
at ILM, and he was amazing, and he was such a great collaborator. But if you get a good DP, just it just look at their track record, look at the films that they've done, see how they
Mm.
shoot things, see, you have to get involved as a makeup artist. I feel that you have to be involved. You have to know who you're working with, get on that, get on your crew list and find out who these people are, what they did before. Is this cameraman like somebody that you think you can work with well? What's their
Mm.
reputation? Call up people they've worked with. It's really easy to do now. You have IMDb, you can cross-reference everybody. So
Yeah.
there's no excuse not to know who you're working with and what their track record is and what films they've done and what actors or actresses they've worked with, and are they good at lighting? Do they care about it? Because a lot of DPs are just, I hate to say they're shit. All they want to do is light a room.
Mhm.
and what's the light? Oh no, we're using ambient light. We have fast cameras. I'm going, dude, you're in a close-up. This is your room now.
Yeah.
You got to light that room.
Yeah.
They don't like ambient light. You know
Right.
what I mean? They want to be lit right, because especially, like some actresses have it in their contract that they have lines around their mouth removed.
Hmm.
You know, I know several, but
Wow.
it's just, there's things that you have to know about, like, is there something, like I said, I'll go and talk to them ahead of time and say, I'm having a problem with this today. Can we, so we don't have to do CGI, can you give them a cross light? Can you do this? Can you help with the dark circles? Can you give them an eye light? Can you, anything, you have to know how to talk to these people. You have to know their lingo as well. So it's really important. And unfortunately for the young people, this is something that you just basically learn through experience.
Hmm.
But if you know what to look for, if you're knowledgeable, and I mean, and you do a little research, you can kind of figure it out, like look at old movies. How were they lit? How did that actress look so good? What did they do to her? You can tell by looking at something what they did,
Right. Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
a lot of times they don't want to do it, but you can always ask. All they can do is say no.
Right.